So this is the third video for making a Save the Butterflies app in Thunkable. We now need to get our butterflies to move. So what we're going to do is we need a sensor called a clock, because when the clock starts, that's when the butterflies will start moving according to whatever interval is preset on here. So we're going to drag a clock over. It's invisible, just like the notifier was. You can see it down here. Now we're going to go into blocks. Remember our image sprite 8 through 13, that's what our butterflies are. So we have to remember that. Let's grab the clock. And when the clock starts, so when clock goes off, when clock.timer, we want to take image sprite 8 and point him in a certain direction. So we're going to call image sprite 8 to start heading toward a random location. So we have an X and Y location, just like a grid. And we're going to grab a random integer from 1 to probably 270. I'm going to guess that's probably what the width of our canvas is. And then the Y will refer to the height. So we're going to go back in here and do duplicate and random integer for Y from 1 to 270 as well. So we need to duplicate this for all of our image sprites. We're doing 8 to 13, so we'll change this to number 9. I'm going to pause this and you can do the rest of them. Make sure you go all the way through image sprite 13 and I will see you right back here. Okay, once you have all of your image sprites heading in random directions, so 8 through 13, you can collapse this block. And now we're going to go back into Designer. We need to find a picture of a blue flower that can represent lupin. So in your files down here, we have media. Down here, these are all the pictures that we've uploaded. We also need to upload a file that is like a blue flower. So make sure that you have a blue flower in there somewhere. I called mine blue flower, so I know what to call it. And then we're going to head into the code, because what we need to do is say if the fire collides with one of these bushes, we need to turn the bush into the blue flower picture. So in blocks, we are going to do when image sprite 1 collided with, so let's drag this out here. Okay, and then we need to call image sprite 1 colliding with. So go back to image sprite 1, it's a purple block. Call image sprite 1 colliding with, oh, I gotta throw that one away. I need the one that will fit in that spot. Call image sprite 1 colliding with, let me pause this so I can figure this out for a second. Okay, what I was missing was the if then block. So I need to go into control and do if then. Now this will fit. So if image sprite 1 collided with another one. So let's think about image sprites 2 through 7. Those are the bushes, right? So I'm going to talk about 2 first. So if it's colliding with image sprite 2, so image sprite 2, we want just the one that says image sprite 2. So if our fire collides with our first bush, we want to set the first bush picture to be the blue flower. So let's go to the first bush, set image sprite 2 picture is what we're looking for right here. Set image sprite 2 picture to be, and we can literally just type in the name of our picture. We have to make sure we get it exactly correct though. So I'm going to go back here and look at the picture that I uploaded, blueflower.png. I'm going to go back to blocks and type in blueflower.png. Now we also want a few other things to happen. We want the butterflies to show up and be enabled. So let's think about our first butterfly, which is number 8. Let's turn him on. So we're going to do set image sprite 8 visible to true. Where is it? Set visible to true, and then also set enabled to true. So I'm going to find the true block in logic, and then I'm going to duplicate that and just change it from visible to enabled. Okay, and so what you need to do now is we have this all set. What it's doing is when the fire collides with the first bush, image sprite 2, it's going to change the picture of image sprite 2 to be the flower. And then it's also going to make the image sprite 8, which is a butterfly, visible and start flying around. Okay, so we need to now duplicate this for image sprite 3. So I'm going to go if image sprite 1, which is our fire, collides with image sprite 3, which is our next bush, change image sprite 3 to be the flower. Now let's make image sprite 9 visible and enabled. Okay, so use the cheat sheet if you need to. I know I have printed out the code. You can print that out and use it to help you. But we're just going to go through all of these all the way through 7, changing the numbers 4 and 4, and then instead of 9, we're just going to up it 1 every time. So we're going to go all the way through 7 and 13. So I'm going to pause the video, and I will see you back here in a minute. Okay, so we now have if the fire touches the bushes will turn to lupin, and the butterflies will start to appear. Now, what we need to do is talk about if they hit a butterfly. If the fire hits a butterfly, we want to make everything start over. So we're actually going to create a procedure called start over or reset. I'm going to go to procedures and create a new procedure, which is called reset. So this just says to procedure, this is what we're going to do for that procedure. And the procedure is called reset. So the first thing we want is if they hit a butterfly and we need to reset the whole thing, we need to make everything false again. So we can actually expand this block here and we can grab, if I just duplicate the whole thing and then I'll collapse one of them again, I can now take all the green stuff from here and stick it in here. I'm going to get rid of this notifier though, because we don't want that message in the restart. We'll throw that away. And we also need to throw away when screen 1 initialize. Okay, so now reset is turning everything back to false, but we also need to change the image sprite pictures back to the brush picture. So whatever you saved that one as. I'm going to duplicate this line over here, which says set image sprite to picture. Instead of the flower this time, mine was called brush PNG. So you're going to want to double check. You can go back into Designer and see what your picture is right here, what it's called. But you can go into blocks and duplicate this so that all of your bushes turn into brush again when we reset. So I'll pause again and you can get all of these from 2 through 7 to say whatever your brush picture is. Okay, so now we should have all of our bushes turned back to bushes if we reset. We also need to put the fire back in the middle. So that's image sprite 1. We're going to move it to a location, which is right in the middle. Probably for X and Y, we're going to do like 135 in each of those. So I'm going to grab an empty math block and do 135, and I'll just duplicate that. And there we go. All right, in the next video, I'm going to actually collapse this reset. We're going to talk about and code the rest of the reset stuff that has to happen. So basically, when a fire hits a butterfly, we're going to reset, or when they press this button, we're going to reset. After that, we are done. So we are so close to being done. You've done a lot of code. Give yourselves a pat on the back, and I will see you in the next video.